And Ronnie, I'm real appreciative of your coming here today to tell EJ's story. A lot of parents will feel a lot more hope and not so helpless hearing your story with EJ. Before you came to us, what was EJ like? What were the biggest difficulties he was having? How did you feel about his future?
Well, not too much future for EJ. At school, he was hurting kids, biting them, really defiant.
How old was he when they diagnosed him on the autistic spectrum?
He was 4.
He was 4, okay.
Yeah, 4 years old.
So he was biting kids and fighting.
Oh yeah, biting kids, fighting, throwing chair, not able to control him in the classroom. Tantrums. We were not able to go to a church. We cannot, we were not able to do anything.
Yeah, we even stopped going to church because we cannot just leave him in the nursery because he just hit everybody,
The sad part about it was that EJ couldn't, it was involuntary. He wasn't purposely behaving this way.
That's right.
It's the way his brain was short-circuiting. He had no control over it, but it put him at total odds with the outside world.
Yes. Right. He cannot have any friends. He cannot have... Nobody understand him. There was even some parent, when they see me or they see my husband, we are bad parent. We don't know how to educate our kid.
How did you come to us? Through what pathway?
Drake, well, I listened to KFI a lot, and
to Dr. Laura
Schlesinger, and she highly recommends Drake because, of course, she's against with the medication, so she recommends it. And I said, oh, let me try it. But then that was like about 3 years ago. I tried to contact, but then it was in Irvine. It's kind of too far for us because we live in the valley. And then finally, I was driving along Roscoe, and then I saw the sign. It's like, oh, they open here. Good, so let's do it. That's
interesting. Before we started helping EJ, how did you feel about his future, etc.? Was it a feeling of helplessness or hopelessness that you couldn't? Your hands were tied to be able to help him develop?
Yeah, our hand was tied. We didn't know what to do. The teacher was telling us maybe we need to have a psych evaluation on him, we need to medicate him, we need to, even look at a place that is not even, I don't know how you say that, but a school that is like only with autistic children. Right now he's in a mixed class. It's with kids who are normal and kids who are not normal. But we were not really agreeing with that because we can see EJ doing things that was okay at home, and at school it was just totally the opposite. Yeah.
Future-wise, at that time it was like, it's like we don't know what to do. It's like it's like kind of hopeless thing.
No, and when we came to you, we didn't know what to do either. You remember when we came, and it's like it's a step of faith. We just did it. We did it. We came, and
he was challenging for us because he was, as you know, would pull the electrodes off at times.
Yeah.
He wouldn't keep the electrodes on his head to complete a session. But he did well enough to develop, and he's come a long way. And it's wonderful. It's wonderful for me to watch children like EJ really be able to develop and use their brain to develop and rewire itself in a much healthier pattern, using the brain's own resource for getting better. Let's fast forward to now. He's had roughly close to 30 treatments. What's improved the most for EJ since we've been helping him?
Well, we are going to church.
You're going to church with EJ?
Yeah, with EJ.
With EJ.
With EJ, and he's playing with other kids. Sometimes he does hit a kid, but rarely. He's doing much better. So this is really a good thing for us that we're able to go to church.
The aggressiveness has reduced significantly.
Reduced, yes. Big time. Also, one thing I was really impressed is when we were able to ride a horse for an hour. Nobody was with him. Somebody was just holding the horse.
We're talking a big horse, not a small horse. I mean, a full-size horse.
And he rode it for an hour.
And that we were just we were just amazed. How can he do that? We would never expect EJ to do that.
So he rode a horse for an hour.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
In Palm Springs.
Palm Springs.
Another thing too, because he doesn't like, before he doesn't like anything that's like touching his face. And at that time it's so windy at Palm Springs that it was just like, but we were amazed because I was right next to him. I was riding behind him. And he was just like, he was having fun. He covers his face with that when it was so windy, but that was about it. For 1 hour, I mean.
We were amazed. And another thing too, he doesn't like water, but now he's able to swim.
Yeah.
And he put his face in the water. So they do have a lot of improvement.
So he must be much more self-confident.
He is more
Much more self-confident. Is he very aware of his improvements and that he gets along with kids much better?
Yeah, he can. Sometimes it's like, I think it was 2 weeks, he was telling me, Mommy, why I don't have a friend? And then I said, well, because you need to be nice with your friend. You have to talk to your friend. You have to, you know, you don't take their toys away. You don't do things, you know, you have to share. So yeah, he was alert of what he was doing. It's like if a little boy come to me and say, you know, EJ did that to me, EJ will say, well, I want to have friends. I want to, you know, you want to be part of the group now. That before, no, it's like.
And give them a hug.
And he gave them a hug, yeah.
He gives him a hug now?
Yes.
Yeah. That's great. That's
then
wonderful.
before he was not even able, his eye contact was very limited. The hugging was, you know, almost never. Or he will just put his head down and he will just go like this. But
and now
never
he makes more eye contact.
He makes much more eye contact.
That's wonderful. It's very important that EJ become aware of what he's improved. And it's very important he connected to what he's doing with the neurofeedback treatment here, because then it empowers him that he can keep developing himself and getting better and better.
Well, I think EJ is pretty ready now to go to school. I have good hope for him for this year. Then last year I didn't have any hope. Very frustrating. Every day I get called by the teacher,
They become regulars.
the principal. He is more in the office than in his classroom. They were even thinking to put him in a special group, you know, with only autistic children.
Which could have only damaged his self-esteem more, or his self-image more.
Yeah.
What I want you to do is keep acknowledging to him where you see improvements. Help him become more aware of where he's improved. Then those improvements become what we call more internalized inside of him. It just becomes who he is, and then he can develop to other levels. So basically, it's his tantrums and aggressiveness are greatly diminished.
Right.
His ability to socialize with peers is improved. Follow through on task, listening better.
He listened better. Well, of course, you know, he's also a kid. But it does improve a lot. It's like if I tell him it's time to go to bed, before it take at least an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours before he can be able to go to bed. Now, tell him to bed, maybe we will have to repeat 2 times and he go to bed.
That's wonderful.
And he fall asleep. And yeah, it is great. I think I'm really happy with Drake. And you know.
If you had been able to hear a parent tell their story of their child developing in our treatment the way that you're telling the story of EJ, if you'd been able to hear this 6 months ago, somebody else's family talking, it would have given you even a lot more hope 6 months ago. So we want to be able to give hope to other families that feel helpless, hopeless like you did 3 or 4 months ago.
Like me, like everything on TV, anything I can hear about autism, I listen. I want to be part of it because I want to help my child, and I want to help other kids. It's not only...
Well, you probably impacted on a lot of children today, just with your being open about EJ's story, and I appreciate very much your being open and sharing.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.